Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where karma just got served. Let's begin. My parents told me that my sister thinks I'm a creep towards her child, and I feel absolutely gutted. Posted by Reddit user temp user.
One of my parents slipped to me that my sister has been talking to them and some other people that she thinks I'm being inappropriate with her kindergarten-age son. So much so that apparently she's been telling people that under no circumstances should I be left alone with her kids. For a bit of context, my sister lives in another country and we rarely see each other. My parents are struggling financially, so they haven't been able to visit their grandkids often. So I've tried to make an effort to spend time with my sister and her family so they could have a connection with my sister's side of the family. I see them around once a year. She has a son and a daughter who both seem to like me, but maybe because I am a man, her son seems to like me a lot. He always wants to play sports with me. I thought he felt secure around me, as he would often hug me and want to sit in my lap. I myself didn't initiate any physical touch outside of maybe putting my arm on his shoulder or picking him up from under his arms. Nothing below shoulder and arm level. Today, one of my parents slips that she has been discussing with them that she's concerned with how I act with her son, and she wants them to constantly keep an eye on me when they visit so that I wouldn't be alone with her kids. Apparently, she has discussed this with other people in our circle too. Apparently, she was also asking my parents if I might be gay. I am not, and even if I was, I have no idea. What does that have anything to do with her children? The worst part about this to me is that she is a strong person. So if this was a matter of maybe just overstepping boundaries, I think she would have no problem telling me that. The fact that she's saying this to people behind my back makes me think that she thinks I am a predator. This situation makes me feel awful. I am ashamed and upset that someone would even think that about me, let alone a family member. As soon as I found out, I sent her a long message how awful and disgusting it feels that she would think that of me. I also stated that I understand that if she is being cautious as a parent, but that we shouldn't be in any contact with each other anymore. After thinking about the whole situation for a couple of hours, I remembered that when I was a teenager, she saw a news article about some young man who stabbed a woman to death, and she went crying to our parents saying that she's afraid that's what I'll turn into. I was just a shy and awkward teenager. We generally got along okay, so I don't understand why she would think that lowly of me. Edit 1. To add some context, I am a completely average person who has a steady job. I have many male and female friends, and I've had long-term relationships with women. As far as I am concerned, I don't have any characteristics that would come off as a loner or somehow creepy. Edit 2. Got a response. She apologized about how things went down and that she meant to bring it up with me. Apparently, the issue was that she felt that things like kids sitting in my lap were okay for a 2 to 3-year-old, but not when they're 5 to 6, which made her uncomfortable. This is completely understandable to me, but a lot of trouble could have been saved by communicating this to me personally. She said it was nothing personal and hopes I can understand her one day, but with the gay comments and all, it's kinda hard not to see it that way. I am a bit relieved there are no serious accusations being thrown around, but I still don't think this is a mendable relationship, so I'll be staying out her life. Thank you for all the supportive messages.
OP, if I were you, I would forever refuse to ever see her again. She's essentially giving you, her own brother, a damning reputation that could quite literally ruin your entire life. Who knows? If you even blink in her kid's direction, she might start screaming that you've assaulted them and call the police on you. She is absolutely insane and has no business being a parent. And now for today's second story. I'm too embarrassed to even share my story of my ex and the affair partner. Posted by Reddit user Brokeback Writer.
It's hard for me to even talk to anyone about my ex, because it's such an embarrassing story that will paint the ex in a bad light that it embarrasses me. And I also don't want to talk negative about the person, but it's so embarrassing. My ex cheated with their coworker, AP. AP has a partner. AP tells my spouse they are no longer with partner. Lie. My spouse leaves me and believes she is dating her AP. AP tells my spouse the AP and their partner are broken up, but still share a one-bedroom apartment. AP gets second apartment temp rental to keep my ex believing the lie. AP tells my ex that their partner wants to get back together because the partner can't let go. My ex decides to just cheat with AP instead, while AP is back with partner. AP and their partner buy a house 2 months later. The AP tells my ex that the other spouse found out, so now they can be together, but AP still living with spouse in new home, lying again. 6 months later, the other betrayed spouse finds out about actual cheating. AP moves out and tells my ex that he finally found a new place, so my ex still believes there was never any cheating other than on her end with AP. AP and ex are now dating, and ex thinks she won a price. Ex was married and has kids, and the OBS messaged her and her ex-husband. Ex-husband asked ex what was that about. Ex tells ex-husband's story. Ex-husband decides to go to court to petition for new custody agreement. Ex believes OBS, me, and ex-husband are the problem, but not AP. I am so embarrassed. I can't even tell anyone this hot mess because no one wants to hear it. But also, what the actual frick? Obviously my fault for dating someone like this. But the punch in the gut that the ex would wait or want a cheater that lies and has a double life and may lose custody over me. And I hate that someone like that thinks they are too good for me or values me so little. Not that it matters. It just hurts my ego, and I don't like them viewing me this way. Last thing my ex said to me was, I was obsessed with her like everyone else that has dated her. Like what? How does someone think so highly of themselves when they are a gross cheater? Who would want that? Not me. And again, I hate that she believes this. Short new post. Any stories of exes or spouses that blamed you for everything and eventually realized that it was their AP that ruined their life? My ex blames me for AP and her getting caught by OBS, which has resulted in the two in an affair, losing out financially and with custody. I am the villain in their story. I would like to know if there are any stories of people realizing the AP was the one that pulled the wayward into a situation that blew up their lives. Or do they always blame the spouse they left?
No need to feel embarrassed, OP. This whole shit show happened because she couldn't keep her legs closed. Don't take any blame for this and stop caring if they will ever realize that it was they themselves that ruined their own lives. And as for your question, well, Reddit user Joe Sanfana got that covered.
Haha, great timing with this post as I was coming here to rant, laugh about what just happened to me the other day. OP, if I would suggest one thing, it's not to worry about them realizing. It's irrelevant, especially if you've separated. There's no point dwelling on it because really, they either won't ever get it or it'll be years before they actually realize, and often not until someone else fucks them over. On the topic of not worrying about it, you might like to read some stoicism from Marcus Aurelius or Seneca. I'm 1.5 years post D-Day? My ex-wife had her and AP's child 4 months ago. She left him and is now back with her parents. I don't think wayward even realized the depth of their culpability, even when they realized they did something wrong and ruined their own lives. If you want the story about my ex realizing how she blew up and ruined her life, it's below. The short version. Recently contacted by ex, I said some things I needed to say for a while. Got some good closure that I didn't know I still needed. She blames AP for ruining her life, said she met the devil and fell to temptation, and that she's a weak person. Blamed me for not fixing it. Discussion continues. Some calm lambasting from me. She kind of loses it, like really weird mental break. Says she must still love me because she's jealous I was dancing with another woman. I shut that down, just laughed. Did offer her some sympathy to her current situation, but made it clear it's her fault. Later, she said she may want to try again with me. You what, mate? I just said, I don't think we're compatible anymore, and I don't think we have the same ideas about commitment and love, which is okay. Just means we don't match. This bothered her a lot. I just ended the convo, said to keep in touch and to try out Tinder or Bumble when she feels ready to date again, since I found them pretty useful. The wayward are frequently narcissists and unsympathetic. Risk everything, distress everyone, then, potentially set children up for failure and a difficult life. I hope it was worth it. Big brain move. The long version, a rant. Her life is ruin. Single mom with a newborn in a community which very heavily frowns upon women in this situation. I have gotten past the anger and stuff. Honestly, revenge or karma is nice, but I do feel bad for her and the kid. Not that it's my problem. Same feeling you get when you see someone you knew from high school now down in the dumps. Sad, but irrelevant. I hope for her child and family's sake she can sort herself out. Well, she called me the other day. It brought back a lot of the pain, but oddly enough was the last bit of closure I needed because I had a few things I wanted to say to her. She went on to say how AP ruined her life. She can't find a job and is hopeless, and she doesn't know how to support her son. Now, we were married for 6 or 7 years, I think. Never before have I heard her so depressed and hopeless. Genuinely, I am happy she got a bit of karma, but I at least maintain some empathy and sympathy. It is really unfortunate that she is in that situation. She goes on to continue to blame AP. Then she says I could have fixed things by being more supportive after I found out she cheated and that she met the devil with that man and gave in to temptation. To paraphrase and summarize, I said, "You decided to have an affair with him. One time, maybe I could entertain the temptation excuse. It's still not an excuse. But by the time I had discovered things, it had been happening for about 2 months. Then you made no attempt at reconciliation, ghosted me, and got pregnant. Now if he abused you, that is on him, but this whole divorce and your initial affair is entirely on you." She deflects, but I can tell it struck her. Then she said she saw a video of me dancing with another woman and that she got jealous. In my honest opinion, she started actually losing her mind a little bit here, just from how she was speaking. In hindsight, it was actually really strange, but she said, "I don't know, I must have feelings still." Yeah, love? Maybe love. After all, jealousy should be synonymous with love. Convo continues. Not much else relevant other than me saying I think she is confused. I gave her a bit of stoic advice about life, to lift her spirits a bit, and said, "Best of luck." Baby crying in the background the entire time just really added to the satisfying scene of karma being served, as dark as it may be. Later, she said she may want to try again with me. You what, M8? I just said, I don't think we're compatible anymore, and I don't think we have the same ideas about commitment and love. This bothered her a lot. I just ended the convo, said to keep in touch, and to try out Tinder or Bumble when she feels ready to date again. I found them pretty useful. Words of advice to everyone. Waywards are frequently narcissists and unsympathetic. Honestly, it amazed me how little my ex changed and further opened my eyes to how big of a bullet I dodged. I'm sorry for her situation, but you reap what you sow, as they say. Also, especially because a child might be brought into these messes, it just shows the depth of selfishness the wayward have, especially in physical affairs. Risk everything, distress everyone you know, potentially set children up for failure and a difficult life. I hope it was worth it.
Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.